today we start the printmaking. We're going to be doing 3 different methods and 3 different styles of printmaking. The first one is called alternating. It's basically an A-B style. So we have 2 different stampers we're working with. One that's a little bit more complex, one that's a little bit more simple. And we're simply alternating the design back and forth and back and forth. A, B, A, B, A, B. Kind of develops a little bit of rhythm. I will be starting with the most complex design first. So I'll start off by putting my stamper in the ink pad and pressing it into the ink pad so that it gets inked up real well. Now a little trick you might want to try is placing a piece of clean paper over the stamper so that when you press it onto the ink pad you don't get ink all over your fingers, or you'll get a little bit but not much. Lift it out of the ink pad and then you're ready to stamp. Now I'm going to start in the upper corner, and you'll notice that I have marked my stamper with a bright green dot. That means this way up. That's going to be the top. I have a little dot here also, but disregard that one for right now. I'm pressing all the way around, all sides, all corners, and the middle, and then I lift up. I go to my second stamper, which is a little bit more simple design. I'm going to press it into my ink pad. Use a piece of paper again on top of it. Press it on firmly, thoroughly. Remove the paper, lift it up by the handle, and you can see the bright green dot again. And this goes into the next space. This is my A-B design. Alternating. First one and then the other. And then lift it up. I go back to my first one. Do the same thing. Now, once I get finished, I'll have a really cool design that goes all the way across A, B, A, B, A, B. Go back to the second one. And once again, I'm going to make sure that that little green dot is facing up, because I want, on the A-B design, I want all of my stampers going in the same direction. And I'll continue that same design all the way out. Now when I start on my second row, I will have to make sure that if this was A, on the next row I will start with a B. Now I'm not going to finish this, but I am going to go to the next row so you'll get the idea. Lift it up. Green dot at the top. And press in place. Now you might notice that when you stamp with this method you'll get a little bit of background residue. It's okay. It just shows you that it was handmade. It's not machine made. This is a handcrafted art project. It's okay. And then I'll go to the next one. I'm now doing B, A, B, A. Still alternating. Green dot still facing up. There we go. I'm going to do 2 more and then I'll stop and let you try. But I want to put enough on here so that you can get the idea of what the image should look like. Green dot facing up, and down to my last print. For now, I actually have to fill in this whole page. Okay, we're going to stop right there, but you can see A, B, A, B, B, A, B, A. The next one we're talking about is going to be called the rotational print. And this is a rotational design that actually the design turns 1/4 of a turn each time. So I will start, this has only one stamper. I'm going to use the more complex design this time. I'll ink up my stamper again. And this time the green dot will be facing up in the upward position. I press, lift it up, re-ink it. Each time I stamp with this particular method, I do have to re-ink my stamper. Otherwise you'll have a dull print. Lift it up. Now this time I'm going to make one turn. It's 1/4 of the whole design, but it's one turn. I'm going to turn it in this direction and then press. Lift up, re-ink it. And I'm actually creating a big square. There's 4 parts to the quadrant. This time I turn again so that the green dot is facing down, and I press. One more stamp, lift up, re-ink. And turn one more turn. That is a complete rotation. And the thing that's kind of cool about this design is when you lift it up, you'll see that your design has created a new design with the center axis being in the middle of this quadrant. Now we'll work our way around. The next one will be here, and then we'll have another one here. Now I will be able to fit one more here. So I'll have 3 going across this way and another row with 3 going across that way. Now depending on the size of your paper, you might be able to fit more on there. But this is the beginning of a rotational design. The last design that I want to show you is a border, and I won't be able to do the whole thing just because of time. But I do want to show you that a border design basically is just what it sounds like. You're going to go around the outside edges with one design, and then the middle has a completely different design. So I'm going to start first with a more complex design on the edge, and I'm only going to do one side of it so you can see, and I won't take up too much of your time that way. And I think I need a little bit more ink right there. So you can lift these up and see whether or not they got inked enough. Now I've got the green dot here, and I'm going to keep these going in an outward direction, so the green dot is always facing outward. So what that means is when I'm going across the top, the green dot's going to be facing this way. When I'm going this way, the green dot's going to face out that way. That's usually what you do in a border design. Now, as you can see, I didn't get a very good print right there in that corner, so I'm going to really have to watch for that next time. Go to the next one. And I'm doing the same design. The green dot is facing in the same direction. This time I'll press that corner a little bit better. Maybe one more. Same direction, the green dot is at the top. Now, if I were to finish the border design, I would go all the way to the end. I'm going to go back over here so you can see the direction the green dot's going to go in. This time the green dot's going that way. It's almost like if I were to turn my paper this way, the green dot again is at the top. Now, I always like to put my more complex design on the outside. You might rather have your more complex design on the inside. That's up to you. I'll go ahead and do 3 of these. Green dot at the top. One more. I think you might be able to begin to see what this border design is going to look like. I'm going to do a more simple design for the center. I'm going to do something a little bit different with the green dot this time. I'm going to turn my paper back in the same direction I started with, so the green dot is at the top. And since I'm going to have 2 rows in the middle, this time I'm going to flip so that the green dot is on the bottom. Now, as you can see, I have some consistency. This would continue this way, and the center section would continue this way. So this is the beginning of my border design. Now, you may have noticed that I've got the title written on the bottom of each of these papers, and that's because it's 9 by 12 paper, and that will actually be trimmed off later when I get finished with all of this. The other thing that I'll be doing before I add color is I'll be erasing all my pencil marks. So that's what you need for starters. You can choose one design. You'll either be alternating, you'll be rotating, or you'll be going around the border. Choose one of those for your design, and then we'll talk about finishing your design and color on the next day's assignment. Thank you very much.